Hello, this is Zeke777, and welcome back to Ars Nouveau. Last week, we got ourselves a fancy new book, and this week, I don't actually plan on using it. I have other plans. Now, one of my plans was I was going to actually build a structure around our little villager training area here. That didn't happen. I haven't built it, because I want to do something else. I had an idea, and I want to see if it'll actually work. Right over here, this area in this building here, which is, nicely built, my plan is to build an automated smelting system. Now, currently, my smelting solution consists of a rune over here. Actually, I have two things. I have a smelting rune here. Looks lovely. And over here, you can tell because it's different, it is a crushing rune. Yes, they're the same. But you can see that they work if I grab sand, which I probably don't have a whole lot of. If I go over here, what I can do is I can walk here and very carefully toss that down, and I get a stack of glass now. So very easy, very simple to set up. This uses the increased glyph limit that we have on the server here. We allow up to 20 glyphs, and I think it's 17 glyphs is how many need to do this in a single rune. Normally what I do if I don't have that, if I'm limited to only 10, is use 2 runes. So just 2 of them stacked up, walk up and press Q, same concept. Similarly over here it's the same thing, only with crush. I think if I crush the glass though, nothing's going to happen, so I'm not going to do that. My plan, like I said, is this building right here is going to be our little furnace area. So that's going to be smelting and crushing. And the thing that I want to try, I've never used it before. One of the features in our lectern here is right here is you can set up named inventories. The way it works is basically you just take an inventory. Let's throw it in our offhand here. Let's grab a quick spell and we'll do self name over here. And we're going to call you Smelty. Cool. If I right click, we now have a shelf named Smelty. If I plop it down, let's say right here, and I link it. So from this one to there, inventory is added. Now when I open this up, we have Smelty. And the cool thing here is if I toss things in, it's just going to go straight into here. So pretty cool. You can just send things directly into Smelty here by name. Otherwise, everything else goes in here. And if I shift clicked that in, you'll notice nothing ended up in here. It only goes in if I tell it to. Or I guess if there's something already in here. I'd imagine if I have a source, let's not do source berry because I have a bunch of those. Let's do splitter relays just for fun here. If I'm in the regular tab and I send my splitter relays there, it goes cool. Good. That's actually what I wanted it to do. I want everything to go by default into the rest of my storage, not into, let's grab that back. Relay. I don't want it to go into the smelting storage unless it is specifically going to be smelted. So how are we going to use this? Obviously a random repo here is not going to be too useful. Let's go ahead and pick it back up. I don't remember if it keeps the name. Cool, it does. Good to know. Kind of like a shulker. You could also, I guess, use a shulker for this. But my plan is to, I think I'll have it in one of these corners here. And basically what will happen then is underneath it, I will have it automatically hoppered out into probably an ender chest. Not a vanilla ender chest, but the modded ones that we have. Because then we can interact with it with, say, starbunkles. And basically that will be then immediately sent over here to be sent in to get actually smelted and or crushed. So we'll have 2 different setups here. One for smelting, one for crushing. Pretty simple and straightforward. Let's see, what do I need to do? I need to figure out how I want to have things sent out. I don't want to use just a regular hopper because it's going to be too slow. If I break that, we have a little bit of room down here. This is just my mana storage area. That's all good. I built an elevator. Pops you up. So a regular hopper is going to be too slow. I want it to be kind of as instant as possible. And I think to do that, it's going to need to be maybe a starbuncle. Because it's going to be kind of instant. Each stack is going to be going as it goes pretty quickly there. Just it's a full stack every second or two. Or I think it's a couple stacks a second. I don't remember. Either way, I think that might be the best bet. The only problem with that is basically I'm going to have a starbuncle just kind of sitting here. It can be very, very boring for him. I would prefer my starbuncles to be visible. So maybe what I'll do, I guess what I can do. So the whole area here should be within range of that middle lectern, the main lectern. So the primary lectern is where everything has to be bound to. So you'll notice that the bookworms flutter around a little bit. That's because right now it is bound to a hopper over there. So they flutter between the storages that they're connected to and the main lectern. So I think maybe I'll just have it up here. So I'll put the repository like right there. Maybe? I don't know. I need to figure out where I want this. Maybe right here. If I put it here, then I can put the ender chest underneath it here. It'll still be out of the way, so it won't be just like a random thing sitting there, and there'll just be a starbuncle kind of stationed here. I think that might work. I'll have to make this look a little bit more natural later on once I've got this kind of area figured out. But for now, I just put kind of like a rocky outcrop here to kind of explain why there's a building floating here on the side of the hill. I need to really figure out my landscaping throughout this whole build, the whole base actually. But for now, we have a small area. And I think this will be plenty of room for both a smelter and a crusher. Now, I think last time, or the time before rather, in the 1.19 world, I did do a double smelter, and I think what I'm going to do is just a single smelter. So it's going to be just one little column of smelting. It's pretty simple to build, so I wanted to keep it just kind of as straightforward as possible and easiest to explain how it works. Okay, we will make this look fancy eventually, not right now. For right now, I want to kind of just plan out what exactly goes where and how this works. So I put some cobble deep slate down the middle. That's just kind of the entrance to the door. And me being a wonderful planner, this isn't even based wide, so too wide. Yay. They'll probably come back to haunt us later, but for right now, we're just going to ignore it. And on this side here, let's move our lighting a little bit. Like I said, we'll do actual fancy stuff later. For right now, we need a couple chests. I'm just going to use archwood chest. It doesn't really matter what is here. It just needs to, be a storage. You can open it. Cool. Behind the bottom one here, let's go ahead and put a spell turret. Cool. That goes up. The idea is you put things to be smelted in the bottom. They get shot up to here. And we actually want that to go one higher, I think. Cool. And basically the item's going to fly up. It's going to hit there. It's going to fall down, pass through a rune that's going to smelt it, and then land on another rune to pick it up. Picking up is just going to put it in the chest here. That's it. It's a very simple setup. However, in order to make this actually work properly, this needs to not be a basic spell turret. It needs to be a timer turret, and we also need some redstone in here. Remember how I said we need some redstone? There, we're done. Basically the way this works is comparator is reading the bottom chest. If there is nothing in it, then the torch is on. Torch on means turret is off. So we can set this for 1 second and it's just going to sit here doing nothing. That's what we want. Meanwhile, if we put anything in here to be smelted, say stone for some reason, I would never smelt stone. Anyway, put that in there and the redstone torch turns off, allowing our timer turret to actually start casting again. Cool. Easy enough. Let's go ahead and put you right there. Let's grab that comparator again. And while we're at it, we can be setting up this side too. And for symmetry's sake, I think we're going to put the turret here as well. Timer turret, comparator, block, torch. That's it. Cool. Now we need to actually set up our turret though. So let's go ahead and let's do this one here. We need projectile and toss. Toss. Cool. Put you on there. You can just shift right click onto the turret itself, casting at 1 second. 1 second is too long here. Let's set it to 4 seconds. I think we can actually do it down to 3 seconds now, so it can be a little bit faster, but 4 seconds is good enough for our purposes here. Next up, we need some runes. Specifically, we need a pickup rune. This is going to be a problem. So we have a problem on the server at the moment, which is runes tend to like to activate automatically. For instance, if I do a touch rune and launch, Where are you? Launch. Normally, this should be an elevator, right? You step on it and it'll launch you. The problem is it's acting on that. So that's a problem. In the meantime, what we can do here instead is if I take that off, such as touch rune, and I apply it to something such as a mage light without standing in the way there, we can now change this. Actually, we'll do touch rune and I want pickup. Touch rune pickup. Cool. Break you. Apply you again. Cool. That's a pickup rune. Next up, we need just a plain rune because we will set that in a moment here. Cool. This one here, we have a spell parchment, handily kept from the last time I did this. Touch, rune, smelt, pierce 15. It's important to note that it is pierce, not AoE. The reason for that is if I had 15 AoEs on there, it'll smelt this entire mountain and everything over here as well. That's not what we want. Interesting, it changed the color based off of this. Huh, okay. I guess it takes the color from the scroll. Didn't realize I had a color. With that, we are basically done here. Oh, I almost forgot the most important part, and that is you need to right-click these runes with chalk to make it so that they are permanent. That's it, we're done. Let's put some glass in here, because glass looks nice. And we will just button up the side as well. Cool. You guys, we'll put some blocks back here. Cool. Basically done. That's it. Couple blocks here just so it is solid, and we'll put some glass across the front. Now we can test this. We need to place a jar nearby. What would we like to smelt today? Let's go ahead and grab a couple stacks of cobblestone. Let's grab, there shouldn't be anything in here. Right, you're still casting touch rune. Let's set you back to what we had, which was toss. Cool, toss, projectile toss, easy enough. And let's see if this works. So, in here, throw these in. We didn't even get to see it happen. Cool, seems to be working. As you can see, what happens is it comes down and hits that first rune, bounces up a little bit, and then falls down to the pickup rune. Nothing gets double smelted, everything just goes straight in here, and we're all happy. Cool, lots of stone, I don't even need it. But we now have automated smelting, easy enough to set up with just a single turret and some runes, which are not really even a material cost. Why did you not get picked up? Probably not a big deal. And on this side over here, same basic concept. We're going to place that right there. That's again our pickup rune. Touch rune pickup, easy enough. Let's hit you with some chalk, make you permanent so I don't accidentally walk into you. And similarly up here, we need touch rune, only in this case, we need a different spell. Only slightly different here. We need crush, which should be alphabetical order, touch rune crush. Now the important thing here is crush applies to blocks. If you want to apply to items like we are doing here, you need crush sensitive. It's only difference there. And then we need, what's 15 of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Crush. Cool. And let's hope it lets me actually place that. Cool, it did work. Apply that there, and let's go ahead and close this guy up too. You know what, let's let's get rid of these lights and replace those with something a little bit more solid. With that, that's basically done. Yeah, close you up. One more, there we go, cool. Next up, let's check to see if that actually worked. If I take 5 stacks of cobblestone, toss you in here, we should get 5 stacks of gravel coming out. Perfect. Looks like it's working. Okay, so that is the first step. We have smelting, we have crushing. Easy enough. It looks very ugly right now because it's just some cobbled deep slate. We'll make it look a little bit fancier in a moment here. For right now, we have a little smelting area. Next up, we need the automation that I started with here, which was getting things to actually go in here automatically from wherever I want. Okay, you know how everyone says don't do redstone on camera? This is why. Here's an oversight. see if you can figure out what is happening here for why we are continually losing the last stack of sand or gravel or whatever it is that we're doing. Give you a moment. Give you a moment. Yes, that's right. We have a redstone torch here, which is powering this block. This block is then powering this rune. The rune's being turned off, and it's not picking up our last stack. Because I can walk into this all day, and it's not doing anything. I can toss items at it, and it's not doing anything. So in order to fix that, this doesn't need to be a solid block. In fact, let's go ahead and turn you into glass. Should be fine. Where did my glass go? Let's grab our connecting glass, might as well. If I place you here now, that'll actually get triggered. And this block isn't actually going to be seen anywhere, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like, because it's going to be behind the blocks anyway. But that should solve that problem of items not getting picked up. One last thing before we move on to the rest of the automation here is if you do not have the config to have more than 10 glyphs in a spell, the trick here is you just use 2 runes. So right now I just have this top rune, or I guess you'd use 3 runes total if you count the pickup rune. I've got a pickup rune, a smelt rune, and you just have another smelt rune above it. So same as we did before, you just place on top of this rune with 7 pierces. That goes same over here for the crush, 7 pierces on that one as well, or on both. You'd have 2, right? You'd have this top smelt rune, 1 above it, both with 7 pierces, and you would probably make this 1 taller so that you're sure that your items are actually going to fall through both of them. And just because it has 2 there, it'll work. What happens, remember how it bounces up first? If you throw a full stack in, what'll happen is, since it can only smelt half a stack at a time then, is half the stack will bounce up. That's the smelted part. The unsmelted is going to fall down and trigger the second rune, which will mean that they'll both end up getting smelted at the same time, and the pickup rune will happily pick up everything. So just make it 1 block taller and use 7 pierces on the smelt and or crush. Now, if you're counting glyphs here, you'll notice that that is 1 more crush, or 1 more glyph on the crush rune than you're allowed to have, because that'd be 11. What you have to do then is kind of how we had the scroll here. You don't actually need the rune component on the spell parchment when applying it to a rune. So you can just do touch, crush, sensitive, pierce 7, and that'll work for you. So that'll let you have effectively a free glyph spot on there because you no longer have to pay for the rune on there, and it'll just work like that. That should work for just about any version of Ars Nouveau. I've built one of these back in 1.16. We're in 1.20 right now. It'll work on any version. Next up, in order to actually power this, we are going to need some source nearby. In order to do that, I'm just going to make a little pillar thing here. I've been kind of toying around with how I want to set up my splitters. Basically, I think this is what I'm going to go with, where it is a ritual brazier relay. It doesn't need to be anything. This is purely aesthetic. I just need this block right here, the actual splitter on top of it. So let's go ahead, grab one of these, plop it right about there. Break that block because I want it to be floating. And we'll deal with the ritual relay thingy later. For right now, let's go from you to you. And from you, let's grab our source jar. Do I still have it down here? Okay. Where do I want you? These can reach from anywhere, and it's even based, unfortunately, so it's going to be a little annoying. What I could do is, let's do 1 here and 1 here. Doesn't really matter. That'll work. And also from you down to the second one here. Purely for symmetry's sake, do I have 2? It's able to reach from just 1. It's fine. We may move those around later when we get to actually decorating this build, but for right now, everything here is now powered full time. I can come over here, toss things in the bottom whenever I want, and it'll just automatically smelt and or crush. Remember those villagers from last time? Yeah, I needed them for these guys, starbunkles. That's pretty much why I wanted them. We've got 2 starbunkles here. I like to actually name them. So we've got Bernie and Breaky. Cool. Thank you, Bernie and Breaky. You guys have important jobs, and that is we're going to take a couple ender chests here. If I look up how to make this thing, ender chest is an ender pouch. Cool. We're going to need 4 of these. Okay. Let's make 4 of these as well. I think these will probably stack now. Okay. Don't know why the pouches didn't, but that's okay. And we are going to take 1 right here. We'll just put it right there. And one right there. Now, Bernie, your job from this chest. Actually, we should probably make sure this isn't the white. I think we need, is it a diamond or an emerald? I can never remember which. Emerald. Okay, I can't remember. I think it's a diamond. If I right click on here, shift right click, cool. That is now my ender chest. Similarly, same with you. We'll deal with actual colors in a moment here, but from you to you, thank you, Bernie, you'll now take from that, and from you to you, you'll now store there. Similar story over here, Breaky, you've got the same type of job, they're in there. Now anything that goes into these individual chests here will get immediately picked up and put in here basically as soon as it can. This only will hold 9 stacks of items, so that's fine. Next up, we need to set these up upstairs. And like I said, I think we'll smash into a wall first. That's always good. Enderman, you are not part of this party. Same story over here. We're going to go ahead, put an ender chest down right there, right click it with that. And I think we'll do the same thing on this side. Right there, put another one down right here. Give it a diamond. And next up, we need a couple starbunkles. Okay. Next up, we don't need these anymore. These are now completely useless. Let's go ahead and break that. We need another repository. Don't remember, I have one over there already. Okay, good. This right here, let's grab one, put it in our offhand. And you shall be called Crusher. Cool. Easy enough. We've got Smelty and Crusher. And with that, let's go ahead and link those up. So from Smelty to down here. And from Crusher to down here. Now when I open this up, I should have access to Crusher and Smelty. Don't know why I did in that order. That's okay. Doesn't really matter. Next up, we need some color codes for these guys. So I'm going to break the sides, and I need to figure out what I want. All right, I believe I can just simply right-click these in place. I'm going to put black on the top one. So black, red, white is going to be for smelting. And similarly over here, we'll do black, gray, and white. So I think that kind of ties things together. Red for burn, smelty thing. I think that works. Similar over here, we'll do black on top, red in the middle, gray in the middle. Perfect. Now, if I were to go here, and let's say I would like some stone. Why not? All I need to do is, if I go to the smelting tab, throw in a stack there. Nothing's going to happen because I forgot to actually link the starbunkles up top here. So I'm actually going to take that out real quick because I want to see it all in action from the bottom. Let's take this out. Thank you. You, my friend, need to take from this to you, from you to you. Similarly, from you to you, from you to you. Easy enough. Let's go see if this actually worked. So here we are. We would like to smelt up some stone, put you in. That gets immediately put in there. And we have some stone in our chest. Perfect. Same story if I grab a stack of cobblestone and go to the crusher. I said if I go here, go to the crusher, put you in. Same story, that's going to get crushed into gravel. Awesome. There is one step left. The last step is we need a way to send this back into our main storage so we can actually access it again. Because right now it's just going to be hanging out in the extra chest, and that's not going to do us any good. What we're going to do is we're going to pop a lectern right here. It's kind of similar to what we had done over there. There's a lectern on that corner. Grab you out. Right, need to actually set a recipe. 4 of you again. And another lectern in there. Thank you. And it goes in here, of course, because I have Starbuncle pulling from the apparatus into a chest. Once you're done, we'll go and grab our second. Okay, it took me a little bit to remember this. You go, since we're basically wanting to be sending items back to storage, We're going to right click from our remote one and go back to the main one, although it's not going to it's not going to be able to reach to the primary, so we can go to the secondary one over here to you. Cool. And this one here, if I open it up, has access to everything. And if I go back down below there, it should be all good. So if I look at this one, perfect, shows everything. Similarly, we can just chain it back like this, you to there. Now you have access too. And these are now empty. So these did have a stack in there. What will happen is if there's anything in an adjacent inventory to a lectern, it'll automatically get pulled into the lectern and get sent to storage. So that means this thing here, this is done. So if I look up gravel, we've got 654. Let's just kind of let's take all that. We've got 14 left, right? So let's go and grab some cobblestone, take 2 stacks of that, send you to the crusher, send you in, gravel. It'll take a little bit for it to fill up here, but, or really, let's go back to the all items tab, not the crusher tab. We've got 142 gravel in here, which is the 2 stacks plus the remainder that we had, meaning everything here, it's all working. This automation's done. Well, it is now several days later, and we have ourselves a build. There's still a few more things I want to work on this, just kind of clean things up a little bit, but here is our basic tour. We have on our left our smelter like we already made, and on the right is our crusher. Blocks here are made from framed blocks for these framed sloped panels. Lots of copper. Copper is kind of the main theme of this base, clean copper everywhere. Lots of waxed copper. Interestingly enough, these are not waxed. I will be interested to see if they ever age. I don't think they will because they're not technically copper, but I like it. Looks like a little kind of science experiment furnace type thing. I'm happy with it. We've got Breaky and Bernie in here. They are doing well. Tested, everything is all functional and working, and the interior is, well, it's pretty plain. It's just kind of deep slate, some source stone just for a bit of color, and that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to be just nice and clean in here. We have some room here. We could do some like decorations, shelves or something, but for now, I'm happy with that. If we fly up, my original plan had been 3 different floors. So we've got 3 different tiers rather. So there's sort of a tall thing, so they go all the way up to this top one. I'm not sure yet if I want to make it another layer up here. I might. Like I said, I'm not sure. Originally I'd had kind of like a walkway. It was going to be kind of through that top layer and then get over to this building over here, eventually when it's an actual building. I don't know. I didn't like the look of the dirt along here, and I couldn't figure out how to make a good scaffolding path type thing along there. So for now, we have this little building here. We have the netherrack here to kind of tie in with the rest of the base. The copper, of course, is going to be a recurring theme. And then the lighter gray, or it's just regular gray, I think, gray silt shingle walls and some gray glass panes in there to begin with as well. I'm happy with it. The one thing is this guy here, I might need to shift over 1 block. It was originally a corner, but I need it to be a little bit wider, so we'll see if we like that. For now, I'm going to leave it like that. I might put a top, If I put the entire layer of copper on that, is that going to be too bright and shiny? Like this one over here has copper above it, but it has an extra little layer of brick around there. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do something like that. Maybe I'll just leave it like this. For now, though, I am happy with how this build has turned out. I definitely do need to take a look at my actual kind of terrain around here. So I've got these stairs. I put in a slope here because I can actually walk up it without step assist. So that's kind of cool. But I need to figure out, I think I do want there to actually be a structure here, because this does happen to line up exactly with the actual walkway here. So it's kind of weird at just being like here, but not meant to be walked on. It's kind of weird. So I'll figure that out. But also I'm not entirely happy with the front of this structure anyway. I wanted the really steep stairs and I want to have a walkway, but I think I need a bigger landing. Like there's only like 3 blocks wide here. This isn't very wide. And then I got two block pathway here to get to the deep slate generator. So I need to figure that out more. I need to kind of decide what I want to do with the little rivers and lakes and waterfall thing. I like it, but I also don't like the walking area here. Like, I like the look of this. If I go into free cam over here, I love the look of this from the front with the waterfalls going down. It's just not very useful for walking around itself. I do want to make a bit more kind of intuitive paths through here, but I'm not really sure how I want to do that. So for now, I've got a little bit of these deep slate brick bridges. They're kind of nice. I like them. They do blend in basically with regular cobbled deep slate, so that's nice too. It does make this seem a little short because you are 2 pixels higher here, or I guess 3 pixels. So I don't know. We'll see how we like that. But like I said, I need to figure out if I want to put maybe a bigger landing here, maybe build this out more, maybe tear it back further so that the actual stairs go all the way down to this level instead, and then have stairs to go up. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Well, for now, I made a little balcony here that we can look out over the water here towards Zacchaeus' place, which is coming along. We've got a lovely source waterfall here. Anyway, I'm happy with what we've gotten done today. We have ourselves automated smelting. All I need to do is just open up my inventory, and I can go to Crusher tab or Smelter tab, and either way I can just throw things right in. So I'm happy. We've got lots of progress done, and we can start using this for some further automation. Now that we can automatically smelt things, I should probably set up a proper cobble gen and maybe a few other automations. So thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.